I also wanted to talk about brain injury. I know this is not necessarily related to child abuse, but it's a part of my story that's real. So I never really recognized growing up that part of my symptoms might have been from brain injury. I had multiple injuries to my head: the car accident, the rape, had a men's based softball team. The softball hit me directly in the head really hard. Bullies with a block of ice hit me in the head. Anyways, I suffered from this repeated brain trauma. It could be part of the reason why I didn't process things as well as I should. In high school, I really, really struggled. I got good grades, but I struggled to get those grades. I was put in AP classes, advanced placement, because of my grades, but I struggled to keep up with those kids. I could not understand how they could raise their hand and have all of the answers and statistics and everything come to them, the dates and the names, and I couldn't do that. I didn't understand that. I would stay up long hours into the night trying to do my homework, trying so hard, and it really weighed on me. Eventually, when I started dealing with the aftermath of what my grandfather had done, I literally could not focus in school anymore. But I kind of think now that that was an overload of brain injury as well. And so after I had my first couple of kids, a couple of toddlers that I was taking to the library, I saw this sign that was put up in the library talking about brain injury symptoms. And it was like, headaches and foggy brain and getting overstimulated and, different health things. And I was like, check. Maybe I should go listen to this brain injury class. And so I popped my head in, and there was already people in there, and they were already, having a discussion, just a few people around a table. And I was like, is it okay if I come in and listen to this? And they're like, yeah, come in. And it was the first time I started to think, like, maybe my brain injury has more to do with what's going on with my health than what I think. And I continue to struggle with headaches. Even today, I have headaches every single day. I have my earplugs with me usually all the time. I have earplugs on my keychains for all cars just in case, because what happens is I start the day with a certain reserve of brain capacity or brain ability and I can make a certain amount of decisions, a certain amount of commitments, and have a certain amount of stimulation to my brain before I start kind of being crippled and handicapped and overwhelmed. And I remember going to a class that was about autism and feeling really stressed out and frustrated and angry, and I couldn't really understand why I was feeling this, because this was a church thing that we were doing, because we had several autistic kids in this area. And when they were talking about the autism with the being sensitive to the feel of your clothes, or the sound of the air coming through the heater vent, or just these different things, like needing to move around because you're so uncomfortable, I was like, I have that. And some of this had to do with the sexual abuse as well, like being in a room where no one can see the hurt that you had inside. But for whatever reason, I got so frustrated with what I was feeling inside in response to this lesson that I just kind of walked out of there and kind of was processing, why am I feeling this way? And I think a lot of it did have to do with the brain capacity that I was struggling with. But also the fact that a lot of I guess I had a couple of kids that were in my class that I felt like were kind of being labeled and put into a box that maybe were just more like normal kids, the way it seemed to me, anyways. And kids want to be free, and they want to be creative, and not labeled or boxed or put in a cage. And so it could be some of that too. But that was kind of some of the things that I was thinking about with the brain injury. And as I've gone through cycles of trying to heal and feeling like, why are other people healing so much quicker? I mean, clearly I can't see into their homes or into their bedrooms, but I often wonder if there was a connection to the brain injury and my ability to process the things that had happened to me as well. So hopefully, if you don't have brain injury, then that gives you hope that your healing can go faster than mine did. I don't know. And if you do have brain injury, that you can see maybe that you're not alone, and that maybe, that maybe there are things that can help. Maybe there's, like, I have to plan out the things that I'm going to do for that day, and then off balance it with something that, like, space or time that feeds me, that gives me rest. And so hope that helps.